Hi, welcome back to my writing channel. My name is Josie and I'm in the midst of revising a mountaineering revenge thriller novel. But even though I'm really trying to ramp up this revision process and get into the flow of it, it's really hard right now because I also am a graduate student and I'm trying to complete my dissertation at some point. The next few weeks will really be a balance of doing graduate school as well as trying to get into that writing flow. For some context, I am in my hopefully last year of my PhD. I've written my 3 chapters at this point. So in my program, you need to basically have 3 scientific papers written with 1 general intro and 1 general conclusion, kind of sandwiching it all together. My first chapter I've written, submitted to a journal, and it's been accepted. Very exciting. It should be published this month. But the second chapter and the third chapter, I've written a draft and they're with my advisor to get edited. And I'm anticipating getting one of them back really soon now. But I still have to write my general intro, general conclusion. But on top of that, I'm not at home right now. So if you've seen previous videos, this is not where I live. This is very gray. This is very, honestly, sad looking. I'm in a hotel room because I'm currently at a meeting for the large project that my research falls under, as well as I'm going to be doing some field work. Even though I'm not taking any more classes, I finished all of that. I did my comprehensive exams. So all I have left to do is to write this dissertation and defend. There's still a lot of obligations, especially in the winter time, because I feel like in Alaska, everyone's super busy with field work and stuff during the summer. And so all of the conferences, all of everything always happens in this January, February, March time frame. So I've also got another conference at the end of the month that I have to make a poster for and get that to my advisor sooner rather than later so she can give me some edits and then I can print it. There's a lot going on. I might also need to do a final proof of the accepted first chapter. We're also going to take the time to focus on revising my novel because it's important to me. And even though I'm usually very bad at balancing things, I'm like 100% in one or the other, I'm really going to try to integrate revising my novel into my life. So I've got about half an hour before I want to go to bed so I can wake up early for the next round of meetings tomorrow. But there is time and I'm going to make time. And so let's do this. I've already wasted like 7 minutes of the half hour that I was giving myself, because I'm so tempted to work on the poster that I need to get done instead of doing the edits. And because when I think about doing the edits, a part of me really wants to go back to the first chapter and just go through it one more time, literally starting over. I know I have time tomorrow during the meeting when things are slower to work on the poster as I'm listening to stuff that doesn't really pertain to me. Holding me accountable. We're doing this. We did it. Not only did I edit 1 chapter, I edited 2 chapters and stayed up 25 more minutes than I was wanting to, but that's okay because I feel great. And I should stop now though, or else it's gonna be really hard for me to get to sleep. But it just feels really good to get back into the flow of the story. I feel like I just get lost in it and yeah, so chapter 3 is done and tomorrow hopefully we can get another one. These first 7 chapters though are a lot cleaner, so I'm assuming I'll move a lot slower once I get past this first section. So I have some potentially good news. So one of the reasons why I'm here, right, is I'm doing this field work. I'm potentially supposed to deploy these sensors at a kelp farm, but the weather's been pretty bad. There's a super high swell right now, and it doesn't look like it's supposed to be any better for the next few days, not until after my flight home. So rather than having to switch my flight, there's the chance that I could just set up my moorings, pre-deploy all of my sensors, and have the farmer just bring them out and attach them to the pre-existing structure that we have out there, which would be really nice. So I'm just spending a couple hours today putting these sensors together so that way if the weather's bad, I could potentially even leave early, go home, have a good weekend to relax before another work week. I also worked on my poster today, and I finished my first draft of it, and I was able to send that to my advisor too. So we are just knocking things out of the park today, which is really nice. So I always feel like when I have these long to-do lists, it really overwhelms me, especially when there's lots of little things, but then I can get through them actually really fast, which is nice. So you're currently looking at me through the TV reflection. I must be pretty tired if I think this is a cool angle, but just wanted to update. It is the evening. We're in the same spot as yesterday where I'm tired. I kind of want to go to sleep, but I want to be held accountable. I want to do some writing just to mellow out, let my mind escape all the turmoil of field work and grad school. So we're going to sit and we're going to do this, even if it's just for 5 minutes. We're going to do it. I am sitting down to do some more writing. Pulled up my laptop, which is often the hardest part, to be honest. I didn't get much writing done last night. I think I wrote for no more than 10 minutes. I did like 1 page. So I'm gonna try and finish chapter 4 today. I only have about like 30 minutes before my next thing, but I'm happy to be doing it during the day, even though I am exhausted. This week has been so long, but it's also almost over because I am leaving tomorrow morning. So I'm leaving 2 days earlier than I was supposed to. The farmers agreed to take out my sensors because the weather's just like not looking good. So if I wanted to be the one to put them out, I'd have to extend my stay even further into next week, which I really don't want to do. But my flight tomorrow is at 7 a.m. The shuttle leaving the hotel is at 5 a.m. So it'll be a really early start for me, but I'll be home in Fairbanks by noon and have half a Saturday and a full Sunday. I don't know how much productivity kind of stuff I'm going to get done because I am honestly just so tired. But for now, I'm just going to do some writing, try to enjoy it. You know, if I don't finish this 4th chapter, whatever, I'm putting in the time. That's what matters. We've run into a bit of bad news. So as you can see, I am not currently on a flight back home because the wind that caused my fieldwork to get canceled or postponed is the same wind that caused my flight to get canceled. They rebooked me for tomorrow, which the wind tomorrow is even worse than today. So I made the executive decision of moving my flight back to Monday, which is my original flight, because I figured if everything got canceled tomorrow again, suddenly there's more people competing for the flights on Monday. So this means that I'm stuck here for 2 more days. Don't really know what I'm going to do with myself. The writing yesterday went really poorly. I just had so much trouble focusing. It's just because I'm so tired. I feel a little bit better today. There was some confusions with the room because I had to book it for another 2 days, so I think it messed up with the schedule of the cleaning. So I got woken up at like 8 a.m. and I always have a hard time falling back asleep. So it's been a little bit. I'm going to pull out my laptop, but I think I'm going to take a break from the writing, the fiction writing, and maybe do some work on my dissertation, just because I feel like it seems a little bit easier right now, honestly, when I'm kind of brain dead, because it's a lot more straightforward what I have to write for it. And we'll just see where this weekend takes us. I just want to be home. But I do have friends here, so I have been doing some fun stuff with them, and I assume we'll do some good stuff this weekend. So I'm not completely like alone by myself, but I just want to see my cat. I just want to sleep in my own bed, but alas, not for a few more days. I rewatched the clip I filmed this morning and I seemed so bleak and upset. And I was. And I think it's justifiable that I was because I'm really tired. It has been a long week because even on these trips, like even now when I have nothing else more kind of that I have to do here, like the field work is kind of going to take care of itself. I've done this meeting. I can never really relax when I'm on trips like this because I feel like I always want to fill them with things, like with work. I want to get ahead, I want to do things. So when I'm finally home, I can really do nothing. I was able to work on the general introduction of my dissertation this morning. So I basically just looked up a few past dissertation from people I know that graduated and looked at how they went about their introduction. And then I did something really similar because for this specifically, I'm not like starting from scratch because I've written a general proposal for my whole dissertation before I really start to do any research. So I was able to pull from that. I was able to pull ideas and themes from my actual manuscripts because the introduction is basically you're trying to tie all three of your chapters together. And some people, they're really lucky because they might have just done the same experiment 3 different times, maybe with different organisms or 3 different aspects of like the same, all on the same I don't know, just it can be a lot easier. There's a lot more common themes, whereas mine are maybe like a slightly, 2 of them are really similar and one's just like slightly different. So you have to find a way in the intro of tying them all together, of kind of having a major theme, a major goal with what you're trying to do with your research. And I feel really good about it. I don't know if it's maybe a little too short. There's really not a lot of instruction on how this is supposed to go. I feel like a lot of times you're supposed to do it, show it to your advisor, and they're like, you messed up, or what is this, or yeah, you're fine. And then I actually went on a really beautiful walk with some of my friends, and I don't know what was going on because I was expecting the weather to be really bad today. I think it was supposed to even rain, and there was supposed to be a bunch of wind, but it was actually very, very beautiful, blue skies, sunny, like it just felt so good, like the sun on your skin. And I actually found out that the weather cancellation for my flight today wasn't because of the winds here, but it was the winds in Anchorage because I'm in Kodiak right now and my home is Fairbanks, but you have to do a layover in Anchorage, and that's where the weather was happening. So the flight changing continues because I changed my flight from Monday back to tomorrow, Sunday, just in the off chance that it does go through, because I think I would be really upset with myself if, like the weather, if the issue was Anchorage and it's fine tomorrow, and if it gets canceled, it gets canceled. I'll try to get onto the Monday flight. There's also an afternoon flight I could potentially try to get on, but I think it's worth it to really try to get home as quickly as possible. So far, my flight hasn't been canceled, but yesterday I think they canceled it at like 9 or 10 p.m. I was actually out bowling when it happened, and I was just checking my phone. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. I'm trying not to get my hopes up for tomorrow. I'm really hoping I can get out of here. I did have a really good day with my friends, so it's not like I'm having the worst time ever. I am having a good time, but there's just something about being really tired and just wanting to be at home around your own stuff. Like I miss Jonah, I miss my cat, and I'm just, yeah. I'm gonna head out again in a little bit for dinner. I could do probably 45 minutes of writing in my novel. I just don't think I am. I think I just need to call it and literally just veg out for a while. And if I end up flying home tomorrow, great. And if not, maybe I'll make myself do a little bit more writing tomorrow. Have today be this grad school day and tomorrow be more fun writing. Guess where I am? And if you guess not on an airplane going home, you would be correct. So I got to the airport, waking up at 4:30, shuttling there. I went through security. We were sitting there. I could see the plane outside the window. But then they delayed it for 15 minutes, and then a half hour, and then another half hour, and then another half hour, because the weather in Anchorage is just so bad. There's winds up to, I think they said, like 60 or 70 miles per hour. Like, it's actually ridiculous. And then eventually they had us sent back through security. They gave us our bags back, and I'm rebooked for this afternoon, so I have about 3 or 4 hours before I need to be back at the airport to try it all again. Luckily, there's some really nice folks here, and so I was able to get a ride back. They were able to set me up here at one of the science facilities. So now I have a very beautiful view behind me, and I'm about to start doing some work on my laptop. I decided I just can't focus on writing my novel right now. I'm just going to keep writing for my dissertation. I just think that when I'm feeling this like level of just stress and anxiety, it's so hard to just focus on fiction and fun stuff. And so for some reason in this state of mind, I can write scientifically a lot easier. So that's just what we're going to do. I also went as a consolation prize and bought myself a book for the flight home because I'm not going to get home till like 9 p.m. tonight. I finished my other book like the first day that I was here, and I deserve to have a fun book to read on my way home. So that's the update. I'm too scared to say I'll see you when I'm on a plane or when I'm home because part of me is like, until I get home, until I get maybe to Anchorage. No, until the flight from Anchorage to Fairbanks, I'm not going to believe it's actually happening. I'm not going to lie, the moments before I took that clip when I was walking out in the rain, because I tried the library first, but it was closed on Sunday, the exact day I tried to go there, of course. It was a pretty low moment where I just was getting so frustrated and really fed up. And being inside, having that view, having a warm cup of tea really did help. In retrospect, maybe doing work was a good idea or not. I really don't know. But I always feel like whenever I'm waiting around, doing something productive like that at least makes me feel a little bit better about the fact that I'm wasting so much of my life waiting for these things to happen. Because my flight was supposed to leave at 3 and then it kept getting pushed back through the afternoon. I was able to watch the Packer game, which I was really excited about. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, but they had a pretty terrible game and they're now out of the playoffs. So it literally just felt like one negative thing piling on top of another. I finally was able to fly out of Kodiak at around 7 p.m. And then when I arrived in Anchorage, of course, I'd missed my connecting flight. So I was supposed to get on a flight, I think at like 11, and then that ended up getting pushed back to like 2. So I finally got home at 3:30 a.m. and none of my bags made it. It's kind of a problem because I was bringing some samples back for someone in my research group and they need to be frozen. So there's frozen stickers on it. We'll see if it stays frozen in the next few days. I don't know how long it's going to take for it to come back because the lady at the airlines said that it still said it was in Kodiak, so it didn't even potentially make it to Anchorage yet. But that brings us to now. I'm at home. It feels so good. Literally the first thing I did was make a cup of tea. I slept for a very long time. This is what it looks like when I don't have balance and I'm just trying to make things work until I can get home, recuperate, and start over. But I did work on 2.5 chapters of my novel and I am excited to get back into it. Just thinking about the story and where I'm at, I just like, it's almost that reader's excitement of wanting to get back into the story and see what happens next, even though I do know what happens. And then I've also written the intro and the general conclusions of my dissertation, which is pretty big. There's a few other things I need to write, like an abstract, a plain summary abstract, and things like that. But really, that intro and conclusions is like the chunky section. I think each of those was between 2.5 to like 3.5 pages, which again, I don't know is long enough, but at least for a first pass, I'm really happy with them. And now we're home. Now we can reset. Now we can keep moving forward. This just goes to show that even with the best of intentions, like trying to do balance, especially when traveling, is just so hard. And sometimes you just have to do whatever you can to just get through it. And it doesn't look pretty, but it's what it has to be. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for sticking through this whole flight adventure with me. And I think next I'm going to work on actually trying to create a routine for myself now that I'm home. Things are calm. I have a few weeks before I have my next conference to go to, which should be a lot less chaotic than this has been.